Good morning, I'm Dr. Kaylin Anderson. Welcome to my channel, Pouring Into Properties, where we talk about all things real estate investing. The first video that I wanted to share with you here today has to do with how we bought our first investment property with $0 down. So let me get started and explain all of that to you. So my husband and I got started in real estate investing back in 2022 with our first investment property. It was a duplex. Currently, we invest only in our hometown. We have a few reasons for doing that. Right now, we want eyes on our properties. We are starting small. We, are taking risks, but we're taking calculated risks, and we want to be in our backyard for when things go wrong. We have an awesome team here locally, plumbers, electricians, contractors. We're very handy ourselves. And so to do those things, we want to be, eyes on our properties. When we are heading to our jobs, we want to be able to drive through town. And if we need something, we can stop off at those properties and not have to go, far away to get to the properties. So currently just investing in our hometown. Our first property that we purchased was a duplex in 2022 for $245,000. I had been doing a ton of research. I wanted to get into real estate. My dad has done construction for 35 years, and we were talking about, how do we get in? What do we do? Well, at the time, my husband and I only had our first starter home, so single family home. We had been in the home since 2016, so I thought, we probably have some equity in this house. We bought that home lived way below our means, meaning that when we first were looking to purchase a home, we were qualified for $350,000. We purchased a home at $158,000. So tons of sweat equity, worked on the property, and we had been in a home then for 6 years. And I said to my husband, I want to get into real estate. And he's like, that's fine, but you can't use any of our savings. And I'm like, how am I going to do this? So I started researching online. And I'm like, okay, there's got to be a way. So we have some great local lenders, and I called a woman that I trusted who did our personal, our home loan for our starter home, and she had switched over to the commercial branch. And she said, hey, if you want to make a go at this, let's get you an LLC, let's start a business, and I will lend you on the commercial side. She goes, you're going to need 20% down for your properties, but the caveat is that then you have a greater chunk off your mortgage. You have different terms that you can use, different things you can write off, and you no longer need to worry about inspections or, any of the red tape that you wait for when you're doing your personal homes. And I said, okay, well, let's try it. So we found the home that we were looking for, this duplex, and I really wanted to get it. And she said, okay, well, at $245,000, you need 20% down of that. Okay, so $200,000, there's $40,000 already. So coming to the closing table, I was going to need close to $53,000. So that's your closing costs, your appraisal, that's your title insurance, and we can go into all of those things separately in different videos, what those things mean, what they look like, why they're important and necessary. Okay, so all said and done, I needed $53,000 to get that property. And I'm like, okay, let me figure it out. I said to her, can I take a HELOC or a cash out refi on my home to get you that money and give it to you? She goes, that's exactly what you do. I said, okay. So in 2022, we were still in that bubble of COVID times where interest rates were phenomenally low. Okay. If you do a cash out refi, that simply means that you are getting an appraisal on your home. Say you bought down here, it now appraises for up here. A bank will lend you up to 80% of that new total. Okay, so for a personal home, you can get up to 80% of that value. You always have to keep 20% equity into the property as the homeowner. Okay, most banks will never go above 80. Okay, so I had our house reappraised. Our house reappraised in the 300s. So that meant that the difference that we owed from that difference right there, later on it appraised in the 300s. That's a different part, but let me go back. So it appraised at that time at 235. Okay, so we only owed 100 and some. It appraised at 235. They said we'll give you up to 80%. So I took 205. Wouldn't you know, when I took 205, $58,000 check to us, and I needed 53. Okay, so in the matter of weeks, we were able to get a check handed to us for $58,000. Our new mortgage payment only went up $100 more on a 30-year fixed rate. For us personally, we use a VA loan. My husband's in the military, so we qualify for VA. You also could do it with a conventional 30-year mortgage, okay? It's not much different. So we got that check. And then I learned this is how you do this. This is how it works. I turned around and I gave that check. We bought that house for $245,000. We got it rented. We have phenomenal tenants in that property. The property cash flows, and that's how we got started. And then I said to my husband, okay, well, one is great and it'll build equity, right? And we're going to do things to the property to make it enhance its value. However, one is not going to allow us to quit our jobs. So what's the next plan? Like, what do we do? Okay. So not only did we go from our one little starter home to doing a cash out refi, getting our duplex. So now we have a duplex where the tenants are paying for it. We are getting that equity, creating a better property. And it all only costed us, in the grand scheme of things, $100 extra a month on our normal payment. Okay. So one thing that I want to back up and share with you is which option I chose to do with our mortgage. So what I did is I did a cash out refi. When you do a cash out refi and you're physically pulling cash out of the property, like you're redoing, you're not doing just a HELOC, just a line of credit on what you already have. You're doing cash out refi. I did that for the simple fact that rates were still super low. If you're pulling a cash out refi, even if the rates are lower, you still are going to have a little bit higher because they tack on to your percentage points because you're pulling all that cash. It's just the way it works. So for us, we were locked in when we purchased the home at 3.5%. To pull that cash out refi, we were then bumped up to 4.25%. So in a perfect world, it's fine. That's fine, okay? I was willing to take that 0.75 of a percentage point higher because we were still at a really low rate. Overall, for $100 more a month, it was just worth it for our family to acquire that asset and get us going. And that's just the vehicle that worked for us. In today's climate, if you have a super low rate and you're looking to do what we did, I don't think that a cash out refi is the best option right now because that would totally change your payment to what the prime rate is right now. And we're seeing rates in the 6s. And that's way different if you were only at 2, okay, or 3. So in today's world, I would look at a home equity line of credit. And this just means that you're keeping your same mortgage, but you're essentially getting a second mortgage. Same kind of a thing. They'll schedule an appraisal. They'll see what your home is worth. They'll give you, for the most part, up to 80% of that new value. You can decide how much of that you want. And then with the home equity line of credit, it's different. You're not going to be paying on that until you start using it. So they have a few options for you. So the first option is, for example, this same house, the same starter home. So we stayed in that starter home, right? We were in it for 8 years. So at year 6, I did a cash out refi. So our new mortgage was $205,000 at 4.25%. And then 2 years later, I just felt something in my gut. Now, in between all of that, we bought more properties and we did a lot of things, okay? And that's a story for a different video. But to explain the difference between the cash out refi and the HELOC, we did them both on this home. And so I'll explain what that looks like. So then, fast forward 2 years later, in my brain, I was like, I just think I need to have these extra funds sitting around. I don't know why, but I'm going to trust my gut. I'm going to trust my instincts, and we're going to get it set up because it does not hurt to have it. You don't have to start paying on a HELOC until you use it. So let's get it done. So you call the local bank. You tell them that you want the appraisal. You want to do a HELOC, home equity line of credit, so a second mortgage on your home. They come out and they appraise. This time, my same home that I got 8 years prior appraised at 365. Cool, right? So now we were at 205 and less than that because we've been paying on it for 2 years. Now we're up to 365. So now they give you 80% of 365. Wouldn't you know that difference was $99,000? Crazy, okay? So now we went from just our starter home. We got a duplex and only it was $100 more a month, right? In between, we saved our money. We were making our money work for us. We bought different properties in between that. Now I'm pulling for a second time against my home, have this $99,000 chunk. Now that's sitting, okay? So we have it. It's in place. We're good to go. Sitting. there are options with that chunk. So based on your profile, based on your credit profile, what you're looking to do, the home that you're leveraging, all of that stuff, they'll say, okay, here are lending options. You can take the $99,000, and when you choose to start using it, you can either use it all at once, and you choose a 5-year, 10, 15, or 20-year repayment. You can pull a little bit of it at a certain repayment. Once you choose that you're going to pull some, you can choose whether to lock it in or leave it open, meaning lock in whatever that current interest rate is, or leave it open in the chance that you think it's going to fluctuate and you might get a lower rate. There's different things that you can do with it. The bank will explain all of those terms to you and those options. You can choose what works for you. So if you think about that $99,000, that HELOC, it was just sitting here, but it was ready. So whenever we were ready to pull the trigger, we could call and say, hey, I need that transfer today. And I'm going to do it at this interest rate. And I'm going to do it for this period of time. Cool. Okay. So all of a sudden we had that 99,000 sitting for a few weeks. And my husband calls me, and he is in a different state fishing with his father. And he said, this house just came on the market. It might be the forever. Like, you need to go look at it. And I'm like, oh boy. I said, okay, I'll go look. But at this point in our lives, we are running multiple businesses. We still both have full-time jobs, day jobs. And it is this past fall. So it's the beginning of a new school year for me, for our children. It is the height of my busy season for one of my businesses. And I was not mentally, physically thinking that we were going to be uprooting our family and moving to a new home. That was not in my plan. That was not my thought. That was not my interest, nothing. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, why did I get that HELOC? Why was I trusting my gut? Why was I trusting my instincts then? Just go look. Came and looked at the home. And when I say came and looked at the home, I'm sitting in it right now. Okay. So looked at the home and I'm like, we're in trouble. This is it. It's perfect. So I called my husband and I said, this is what you want. It's what you want for our family. It's for our family to grow. It's perfect. Location, taxes, size of the home, size of the property, everything. It's what you want. And he said, okay, we'll put in an offer. I said, absolutely not on a forever home. I said, you need to get home. We're going to walk it, make sure you're good, and then we'll figure it out together. So he came home 2 days later, walked it again. It worked. Wouldn't you know that my deposit that I needed for a 20% down payment for the home was $99,000. Yeah. The world works mysterious ways. We've learned very quickly that if you work really, really hard, you seem to make your own luck and things go right. Things go wrong still. Life is not perfect, but things go right too. So this starter home was the vehicle for us living conservatively below our means, working super hard, saving our money. That little house, we did so well by that house, but that house did so well by us. So if you're looking to get into real estate, if you own your own home or thinking of buying your first starter home, make a smart buy to begin with, okay? Look at houses in your area that have potential. Look at houses that are maybe on a small body of water. Look at houses that are unique, okay? Even if it's not perfect now, can you make it perfect? Can you put in the sweat equity? My husband and I joke all the time, first you sweat, then you get the equities. See if you can do that. If you have a vision for that property and you're willing to work for it, do it. Do it, do it, do it. You can't start out up here. It doesn't work. And you might be able to on paper. They might say you can. Don't do it. Work through the process, learn, grow, struggle, build, try your best, fail, do it again. Now, 3 years into our real estate investing journey, people think I'm flying. I still don't feel like I'm moving fast enough, but people see the outside, and people think like, how are you doing all this? I've been building and working at this. This has been an 8-year progression that people don't see. So please, if you have any interest in this and in real estate, it's a phenomenal avenue. It's a phenomenal mode for retirement, for generational wealth for your family. There are so many avenues and ways to get into real estate, and we just want to share our journey with those that are looking to get into it because it has changed our lives already, and we're only heading into year 3. So again, thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions about real estate, throw them in the comments. It helps me create other videos. I'm so excited. I have quite a few videos here that I want to batch and get ready for us that I can share out about different things that we've experienced in our journey. So far, we've done long-term rental, midterm rentals, short-term rentals. We've done fix and flips, buy and holds, land purchasing, hold and sell. We've done a lot. The only method that we haven't done so far would be house hacking, meaning that you purchase like your starter home, right? You purchase a home, you live in it for the 2 years, you do upgrades, you do different things to it, and then the minute that it appraises higher and that you're ready to go, the minute that like 2-year mark hits, you sell and move to the next one, or you rent and move to the next one. Because the thing is, with a 2-year house hacking, you, as a personal mortgage, not a commercial mortgage, so a residential mortgage, you only have to live there for 2 years. If you can get that house rented to cover that note, now you can grab another home. Or you can sell that home, and if you're a single individual, you can make up to $250,000 profit to go to the next home without any tax implications like capital gains tax. If you are a married couple, you can make up to $500,000. So if you really buy something that needs a ton of work and you put in that work, you keep it for 2 years and it grows and you're making a $400,000 profit. Well, you're making a $400,000 profit. That is the quickest, most conservative way to become a millionaire in real estate without starting a business, without having to manage rentals and tenants and all of that. That is the only thing my husband and I don't do. We now have a family. We have little kids. We're not moving every 2 years. It's not something that we're doing or we want to do. So for those of you that are young and you're hustling and you don't have children yet, that might be an awesome opportunity for you as well that we could talk about in another video. So again, thank you so much for watching. My name is Dr. Kaylin Anderson, and I'm so excited to share this journey with you. Any questions that you have, post them in the comments, and I will create content as I see them. Thank you. Have a good day.